Yeah, Sean here with doing my second. I'm doing my second solo DVD commentary, and it's on the. Yeah, Sean here with. Sorry about that. And it's on the 2004 director's cut of the 2003 Marvel movie Daredevil. Yeah. So I hope you guys really enjoy this, and if you guys have this movie already, you can watch it along with me. Right now I'm at the DVD menu, just getting everything set up. Sorry, my voice is a little not good right now, so I'm gonna try and power through this commentary. So let's press play on your DVD player or your Blu-ray if you have it, because I know the director's cut is the only version of this movie on Blu-ray, but it's basically the Blu-ray release is the director's cut, but it contains the theatrical discs, the theatrical cuts, bonus material. Then we got the 20th Century Fox logo. Here we are. Sorry guys, trying my DVD remote to work. There we are. And we got the Marvel logo just past the 20th Century Fox logo. And in case you guys are wondering, I have seen the Daredevil Netflix show. I think it's okay. I thought the second season was better. But I did enjoy the show mostly. I like the second season better because I thought the first season was a little slow paced, and I thought the second season moved along at a quicker pace and everything. And plus, they brought the Punisher into the show. That was cool. So we got the opening credits in Braille, which I think is a very cool design, if you will. Michael Clark Duncan, may you rest in peace, good sir. I remember Michael Clark Duncan actually featured on the show 2.5 Men, which I really liked. He was in like one of the first 8 seasons. I don't remember which one. I think it was like season 5 or 6. I don't remember. Then you got also Colin Farrell in the movie, who was in the Total Recall remake, Minority Report. He was just in Fantastic Beasts. Thought he was great. Daredevil and the Double D's. Double D. I really like this opening. I think it's basically okay. People have said that one of the nitpicks of this movie that most of it is told as a giant flashback, which yeah, I can understand the criticisms because, and I kind of have this problem with the first Hobbit movie, with Hobbit: Unexpected Journey, when they opened with Ian Holm, that by having Ian Holm there, it takes away any tension you want to. They were trying to put Bilbo into because you knew Bilbo was going to live through it. And the same here, you know that Matt Murdoch's going to live through it because we see him here at the beginning. But then again, we don't really know that this is the end of the movie, to be honest. We don't really know that this is intended to be the end of the film, but it still makes like little to no sense, really. But I still like the opening, to be honest. Graham Revelle, I thought he does good with the music. No, I really like this movie. It's not looked upon by fans as one of the great comic movies, but I absolutely enjoy this movie. I really think that, and in my opinion, this was the movie that made me think, yes, Ben Affleck will be a great Batman. Because to be honest, this is one of the only movies I've seen with Ben Affleck in it, aside from like Argo and other. And I saw the movie Jersey Girl, which was directed by Kevin Smith, that starred both Affleck and Liv Tyler. So I haven't really seen that many movies that include Affleck in it. I mean, I've heard good things about Gone Girl, but I've never seen that one yet. So yeah, we got. Hang on. Daredevil basically crashed into a church, and now he's like exhausted and everything. Which again, we don't really know. This is supposed to be the end of the movie, but it is. And you got the priest walking up to basically check on him. And now we're trying to flash back to his childhood. And what I think is really interesting here is that for those of you guys who are like real diehard Disney Channel junkies or whatever, the kid who plays the young Matt Murdoch actually played the child Jason Carson on the movie Motocrossed. So I thought that was really cool. They got him to do this movie. It's like really both cool and interesting that this kid was once in a Disney Channel original movie. Now he's doing this movie. So I thought it was a nice touch, like because that he's like a familiar actor and whatnot, sort of. Well, not really a big familiar actor, but you know what I mean. And then you have Matt here with his father, basically helping him get into bed and talking about how he's getting picked on by bullies and stuff. He tells him not to curse, and that's what kind of shit. Like I really don't understand the negativity from this movie. I mean, I can understand because the theatrical cut was just a butchered, watered down mess. But even people say this version's not even all that good. And I just love the soundtrack to this movie. It's a really good soundtrack. They do change his origin in this movie a bit, whereas in the comics and I think in the Netflix show, he gets the the waste and radioactive waste in his eyes as he's trying to basically save somebody's life. Like somebody's about to crash into somebody, and he pushes that person out of the way and gets hit with the radioactive waste instead. Whereas in this movie, they kind of take his origin from the animated Spider-Man show, where he's witnessing his father, beating up a thug, and he runs away upset, and then the radioactive waste is on his truck, it crashes, and it gets blasted into his eyes. So they kind of changed the origin bit, which I have no problem with, really. I mean, I can understand some diehard fans having that problem, because, for example, with Suicide Squad, I hated how they stripped out the abusive relationship of Harley and the Joker. I was so pissed they took that out. So I can understand comic fanboys' frustrations with them changing shit in movies. I understand that wholeheartedly. Now Matt's in the hospital getting used to his new abilities. I actually like how they do the sonar. I think the way they do it, I think is really cool. They kind of call it Shadow World, so okay, I guess it makes sense. Like now that his eyesight's gone, it basically heightens his other four senses to basically superhuman sharpness. So he's able to hear things better than anyone. He's able to, and I think what's kind of cool is that with that, his sense of sound kind of gives off a sense of radar sense, which allows him to sort of see better than anyone. Which, if you watch Doug Walker's review of this movie, he kind of complains, well, how does it make sense if he's blind yet he's still able to see? Well, honestly, that doesn't really happen constantly. It's only when he hears loud noises does it create this kind of radar sense that he's able to see. And it's not really a clear picture. It's like these kind of like blurry shadows, really, that he's able to see. I really like this relationship between Matt and his father. It's very genuine. It's very like emotionally heartbreaking at times. And this is where they make each other a silent promise to never give up. And I think another change that people might not have been impressed with is that they changed Jack Murdoch's name from Battling Jack Murdoch to Jack the Devil Murdoch, which, in a sense, I actually like the change because it gives a reason as to where Daredevil's name came from. Which I know in the comics they kind of said his name came from when he was a kid. People used to dare him to do stuff, and he would, actually do that stuff. Like he wasn't afraid, which is why he's called the Man Without Fear. But that's also why he got the name Daredevil, because that's what he was called as a kid when he used to do dangerous shit that he was dared to do. So I can understand both arguments, like for the comic book side and then the way the movies changed it up. But I kind of like the way the movie did it. In my opinion, I think it's a better change. It's a good change, really. This is where Matt's trying to train himself to use his senses. I agree, Josh. The death of Jack Murdoch's kind of sad. Is Stan Lee's cameo. Stan Lee's like, what the heck? How'd the kid do that? I just love Stan Lee's cameos. I swear these people are just such jerks. He's freaking blind and they threaten to kick his ass. See, soundtrack is awesome. Though Stanley's cameo on this one is one of my favorites. His least favorite cameo, cameos. Even as funny as me. To be honest, the only good thing about Amazing Spider-Man 2 or Amazing Spider-Man really was Stanley's cameo. Like that's the only really good thing about those Amazing Spider-Man movies was Stanley's cameo. To be quite honest, Josh, but that's cool, man. This part was remain the same from the comics where Jack is basically told to throw a fight, but he doesn't, and he's killed for it. That's pretty much the same as in the comic. It's funny how Kane Hodder in this movie, who is the most famous Jason actor, kind of makes a cameo in this movie, which is actually kind of funny. He basically plays one of Valen's men or whatever. Valen, whatever his name is. Well, Josh, you can't really completely blame Gary Foster, was because Foster was under the knife, was under the hand of the studio pretty much. Basically, Foster was the studio's errand boy. The studio wanted to have the movie come in under 100 minutes and just to move quick. So sadly, Johnson had to make those changes. So do I, dude. I blame Fox too. I mean, I like the theatrical cut, but this version is so much better and makes a lot more sense. Although, Josh, if you do get this movie on Blu-ray, they do have all the bonus material from the theatrical cut on the Blu-ray, just not the theatrical cut movie. Yeah, I just said that. I just said you get all the theatrical cut bonus material that was on the DVD. And you have Matt here basically sitting over the death of his body, the body of his father's, over his father's dead body, and he's basically squeezing the rose, and that, I guess, makes him bleed or whatever. I don't really know. And now we're soon about to transition into the man himself, Ben Affleck. And one of the things I like about this movie over the Netflix series, is that the fact that Matt actually sleeps in a sound deprivation chamber. It's like, that would make sense, because since his abilities are ratcheted up so high, he would get all this like sound that would make it difficult for him to sleep. So of course he'd sleep in a sound deprivation chamber, which in the show he just sleeps in a regular bed. So it makes me wonder, how does he sleep with all that sound? I mean, maybe he's able to filter it out or whatever. I don't really know, but I just prefer the sound deprivation chamber, to be quite honest. I like how he folds his money certain ways, so he knows which bill is which. And actually, the funny thing is, when they were making this movie, they actually brought on a blind consultant. They brought on a blind consultant for Ben, so he would know the tricks in the trade of being blind, which I thought was a really smart move. I'm gonna change the line here where in the theatrical cut he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, justice is blind, but it can be heard. Today the truth will come out." That was in the theatrical cut, but they changed it here to a completely different line for some reason. I don't know. Thanks, Josh. I didn't really know that. And I'm the guy who looked up all the DVD special features and shit, and I didn't even know that. They also took out a line here, I think, where in the theatrical cut he says, "Great, another rapist back on the street." It's not right. Another rapist back on the street. And they took that out of the director's cut for some reason. I don't know. I mean, I like this version, but there's just certain bits from the theatrical cut I wish they were kept in, like certain lines of dialogue, really. And we see him now getting suited up for battle and everything. And okay, even though I don't agree with Doug Walker, I understand one criticism he has where Daredevil's weapon of choice is basically looks pretty much the same as Matt's walking stick. It's like Doug Walker makes sense. Why would he walk around with that? I'd be like Bruce Wayne driving the Batmobile into Wayne Enterprises. You'd put two together. So I can understand where Doug Walker is coming from, but the rest of his criticisms I don't understand. And say what people will about these effects, I think they hold up. Like the CGI, like they went for photorealistic CGI in this movie, which I thought was really cool. Oh, there's a fun bit of trivia that I read that apparently Dwayne The Rock Johnson's cousin actually makes a cameo in this movie, which I thought was really cool. I agree, Josh. The effects still look pretty good. And we just missed Rock's cousin's cameo. He's the one right there with the black tank top. The one that shoots at Matt. I can't really describe him beyond that role. He's the one that says that when he sees Matt, he's like, "Boss, who is that?" Or whatever. But yeah, the guy who says that line's basically Rock's cousin. That was really cool. I like how they expanded these fight scenes in the director's cut, because I think in the theatrical cut, some of the fight scenes were like hard to see and like cut quickly or whatever, which I understand because they wanted to make it PG-13 due to the studio interference. Because this one's rated R, which I find I find it really funny how this movie and Batman v Superman have a lot in common. Like literally have a lot in common because they both star Ben Affleck in a title role. They were both originally released as PG-13 movies, and then soon after, eventually get a rated R director's cut. And yet people say that the director's cut makes a whole lot more sense, and the story makes better sense, and is more cohesive, and has at least 30 additional minutes in it. Wow, I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Ben Affleck going through pretty much the same exact situation twice. Like I said, I feel so bad for Ben Affleck going through the same exact situation twice. Like literally the same exact situation. And also another similarity, both movies, when released in theaters, got shit reviews. Literally feels so. Yeah, I literally feel so bad for Ben. And then we got Daredevil trying to hunt down this criminal who has escaped judgment, basically. Well, he didn't really escape judgment, but he was acquitted of his crimes when Matt knows he's guilty. Man, I love the Shadow World effects. Got you, fool. Daredevil got you, fool. Not my being. Okay, well, you'll beat me there. Okay, and people complain about Daredevil not by Daredevil not saving this guy, he's essentially killing him. I don't agree to that. I think that it's like what Batman said in Batman Begins. I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. That's basically what it is. He didn't kill the guy. Daredevil didn't kill Jose Quesada. He just chose not to save him. I think there's a difference, really. And we got Joe Pantoliano as Brent Urich, who actually is better in this movie than he was in Percy Jackson Lightning Thief. And the sad thing is that most of the Ben Urich stuff got cut out of the theatrical cut, which I feel so bad for him. And yes, Josh Affleck is still Batman. And as far as the praise, Josh, I don't think they would have been called like I don't think they would have been given both high ratings. Maybe I mean, yeah, they would have gotten more praise, but not like Oscar-worthy praise. If that's what you're talking about, I don't think they would have gotten Oscar-worthy praise, but they would have gotten more praise than they did get. So I agree on that part. That part. I said fart. Can one man make a difference? There are days when I believe, and others when I lose faith. Okay, this scene I kind of find weird is that he can't see the dials, yet he knows exactly when to stop them to get in. That it's maybe he's done it so many times he's so used to it, I guess. Oh, I knew what you meant, Josh. Like just be like loved by many people. I understand that. I was just trying to make a point. It wouldn't have been like so highly praised, but people would have liked him more. I understand. And what I like about this director's cut more is that it shows that Matt's life as Daredevil trumps his personal life. Like he can't even have a real normal relationship, which is sort of like what Superman was in the Donner films, where he had to be, he couldn't divide his time between Lois and being Superman. He had to be Superman all the time, which in a way you could say Daredevil's borrowing from it, but which I kind of think it makes sense. Although I'm pretty sure it's that way in the comics. I don't know. Like I've never read any of the comics. I just know based on what I've researched online. Ugh. And I like how this shows how he's like beaten up and damaged and everything. Ooh, and he rips a tooth out. It's gotta hurt. So yeah, I really like how they show him all like beaten up and shit. That's because it shows how hard this life is for him, really. It is creepy. Like Matt's in his room getting ready to go to bed, and he's hearing someone be murdered, and it's like really creepy. But in some ways, that's how Matt is. He's able to hear things from so far away that it's like he's that he's like actually that it's like he's actually in the same room as that event. Now, this thing about the whole nun watching over him is apparently supposed to be sort of like kind of like a reference to the comics, like how his father's always watching over him even though he's dead. Like I didn't get that the first time until I watched the making of the director's cut bonus material thing on the DVD. So it's really it's a cool visual. Just kind of wish they would have found a way to explain it, like instead of me having to watch a bonus material. Why you read that trash? I love John Favreau in this movie as Foggy. I think he's great. Funny thing is, this is not this and Iron Man are not Favreau's first rodeos in a comic book movie. Because if you look really closely in Batman Forever, he actually plays one of the assistants at Wayne Enterprises when Bruce is going to kind of inspect all the science projects. But it's like one of those blink and you miss him appearances. Really. So yeah, I think that's really cool that Favreau's actually has been in a Batman movie and multiple Marvel movies. That's really cool for him. He's getting to be all over the place, really. And of course, they reference. Makes me wonder how Matt would know the Fight Club reference if he's never technically seen the movie. You always ran away. Tell you how emotionally available you are. So funny. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I think Affleck does a pretty good job in this movie. I think he and Favreau play well off each other, like as a friendly dynamic. Like they pick on each other a lot and everything. We had the appearance of Jennifer Garner, Affleck's soon-to-be wife, and then turned ex-wife. Funny thing is, Gardner and Affleck actually did a movie together called Pearl Harbor. Yet I don't think they had any scenes together really. So it makes sense they meet on this movie because they never had any scenes together in Pearl Harbor. And yours? I've never seen him before in my life. And that joke's funny because Daredevil, whereas Matt's blind, so he can't really see. So it makes sense for him to say he's never seen Foggy in his life. I love the humor in this movie. It's so funny. Even without the sound on, it's still funny. And now we got the Matt and Elektra park fight, which actually I read took 4 days to shoot. It's gotta be weird. You're holding back. Don't. Like you can just tell she's holding back. It's funny. Well, these kids are mature, trying to like I don't know how to say it, but trying to cheer when adults fight each other. It's rather odd. Well, she stopped hitting him. She just kicked him. It's kind of a shame they cut this scene out because it's. I think this scene was actually in the trailer where he asks, "You got a bodyguard?" Shit, because he missed his court day. So yeah, we got Michael Clark Duncan as the Kingman and Leland Orser from the Taken movies as Wesley. A lot of people complained how Kingpin's black in this movie, which I actually read online that the original plan was to have Kingpin be a black guy in the comics, but they changed it at like last minute out of fear of racial intention or something. Like instead of like out of race, like racism or something. I don't know what it was, but they made him a white guy at the last minute in the comics. And then you got Nicholas Nachos trying to buy his way out of Kingpin's business, but apparently Kingpin not having it, obviously. How's your daughter? She sounds like a Mexican. I like your. He says, "Oh, like your nachos." She sounds like a Mexican advertiser. It's so funny. And this whole part is cut from the theatrical cut. The whole Tazo case, that's pretty much all cut from the theatrical cut because reasons, I don't know. Yeah, great way to talk to your attorneys, dude. Asking, who are you? Granted, he doesn't know they're his attorneys at first, but still. And almost an hour into the movie, we get to see Colin Farrell finally appear as the insane hitman Bullseye. Hey, Peter, what's up, dude? Glad you could join. And these people in a bar are trying to cheat Bullseye out of his hard-earned money. Yeah, you're gonna regret that soon, pal. Calling him a piece of trash. Ooh, paperclip. And he's gonna throw it at the guy's neck. And basically suffocate him to death. Death by paperclip, that's a new one. And they actually let Farrell use his real accent in this movie, which I thought was cool. Much like Jai Courtney in Suicide Squad, which even then I found Courtney annoying. Come on, I got a blind guy here. Use the crosswalk, asshole. That's so funny. Yeah, Bullseye on an airport on his way to New York. He's still threatening him, and dogs lay down because of him. That's so funny. Matt just ripped the pen clip off of Foggy's pen to use the pick the lock. It's funny. Must have been sick the day they taught that. Was that real estate law? It's so funny. You know, guys, I'm gonna be right back. Take a little break. All right, guys, I'm back. There was a scene that just passed by because I was on my break where Foggy walks into this room and sees that at least Tazo has all these wigs, but I don't think we really needed that scene because in the TV cut, which I think I still have on a recorded tape, because I didn't have this movie at the time, like theatrical version or director's cut. It was basically the theatrical version of the movie with director's cut footage put in to fill out the runtime. But that scene where Foggy was looking at Tazia's wigs, that wasn't in the TV cut. So I thought that maybe it wasn't a part of the direction. When I saw this DVD, I was like, this doesn't really add anything. So I kind of wish they would have let that scene even out of this cut, but it's still a pretty good movie. And we have Bullseye on a plane where he's pretty much annoyed with the old lady sitting next to him and shoots a peanut in her mouth just to shut her up. But I think it ends up killing her. Yep, she's dead. More peanuts, please. Hope you guys are enjoying this commentary because this is a lot of fun. So we have Matt trying to now defend Dante Jackson, prove he's innocent and all that such. And now Foggy's trying to help him back to the chair, back to his seat. So yeah. Matt almost falls on the floor. I know it's not some live episode. Thanks, Josh. But this is only my second solo commentary, dude. Glad you're having fun, though. So now we're at the scene where Mac takes Elektra up to the roof, where he usually went as a child. This scene actually, I think, took place later in the theatrical cut. I don't really remember. I haven't seen that version in a while. Basically, just Matt asking if Elektra's good luck charm necklace is made, if they make one in Braille, which is funny. Like, I'm not even sure if in the theatrical cut they even really go into her mother's death. Like, all they say in the theatrical, I think, is that she died when she was young. When she was young, I don't think they really go into the specifics. And then here's something they kind of borrowed from the show, where in the show, when Matt and Karen have their first kiss, it's basically like the same thing here, where Matt says the rain is about to fall, takes his glasses off, etc. Rain falls, and then they show the first kiss. And that's pretty much a thing borrowed from here, or maybe just a reference to it. I don't know. Now, I like this compared to what it is in the theatrical cut because it emphasizes that Matt lives a tortured life, that he can't really be in a relationship and yet still be Daredevil. I like that. It shows that he can't, that no matter how much he wants to, he just can't catch a break. And I was chasing down a random thug who's who's working for the Kingpin. This scene I know happens earlier in the theatrical cut for some reason. It got shifted around. I don't know why. If I had to guess, this would force a love scene in the theatrical cut. Mm-hmm. Another bad guy kid. We have Matt now sitting in a church with the priest. In the theatrical cut, it was him sitting in confessional booths, but they took those out for the extended cut, or the director's cut, we don't call it. You kind of get a hint that the priest knows that he's Daredevil, and the priest is one of the only people that really does know. So we have Matt at the office talking to Foggy about possibly breaking up Elektra. And in this cut, it makes sense because he basically had to leave Elektra on the roof to go beat up that thug. So it makes sense in this cut why he's all like, really wanting to break up Elektra because he basically left her on the roof. It's going to have enough lie detector for yours to detect your own BS. You must really bury the needle. I think it's kind of funny how a guy who actually can see, misses the shot. Yet a guy who can't see can actually make it into the hoop. That's pretty sad. I wouldn't know. Now we have a scene where Matt and Foggy are basically talking to Fisk about Foggy trying to say that they'll represent him, which Matt's like, we can't represent you. We only handle clients who are innocent. And you got Matt now walking up to Elektra, basically apologize for abandoning her. Yes, Josh, I'm at the party scene. And then now we're at the scene of Elektra and Bat dancing, and Elektra took Matt's glasses off, saying she doesn't feel uncomfortable around him, which is sweet. Yeah. Yeah, he says that. Yeah, Bullseye hits Frank Miller, kills Frank Miller with a pencil. And now you have Fisk priming Electra's father to die, basically. Now you got Bullseye riding on a motorcycle trying to track down Nicholas Nachos and kill him. I missed. I never miss. Yeah, I actually like the song. I actually have the entire soundtrack. So now the police have arrived to essentially collect not just his body, because he's dead now. Matt's basically tearing his apartment apart, pissed that he couldn't help. That he couldn't stop Nachos from being killed. Which I understand his grief, because now he thinks Elektra hates him. Well, hates Daredevil because she doesn't know Matt is Daredevil. And now we got Bullseye and Kingpin together in the scene. Over almost an hour and a half in. Give Elektra all my best. Is there anything else? Yeah. I want a fucking costume. In the theatrical cut, they changed it to I want a bloody costume because for some reason they didn't want to use swear words in the theatrical cut. And now we see Foggy trying to do a case by himself without Matt, which you can tell he's struggling because Matt's usually the brains of this operation. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna take another break. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm so sorry. So yeah, we're at a scene where Matt is basically interrogating a corrupt cop and crashing his car, which this scene is not even in the theatrical cut because, like I said earlier, I think I said this earlier, that the whole Tazo subplot was cut out of the theatrical cut. I'm assuming due to time and pace, mostly probably because, well, the studio were dumb. I mean, we get the thing where Bullseye doesn't kill you, he kills your whole family. And we have Karen Page here basically giving Foggy coffee and essentially sort of helping him with the case. Karen Page in this show or in this movie is basically the Spider-Man 3's version of Gwen Stacy. That she's an important character from the comics, but is completely wasted. Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith makes a cameo in this movie. It's sweet. And I'm not sure if I've said this in any of my Batman v Superman videos, but it actually was Kevin Smith who suggested the voice modulator for Affleck's Batman in BVS, which because he said that he didn't think Affleck's natural voice would be intimidating enough, which was a good idea. I liked the voice modulator in BVS. I thought it was a cool idea. So thank you, Kevin Smith, if you're watching this video, which I doubt you probably are, because I'm sure you have better things to do. Yeah, it actually was Kevin Smith's idea. And this is actually the first movie to actually introduce the world to Evanescence, I think. So every time I hear another like Evanescence song, primarily the ones that are featured in this movie, I literally can't help but think of this movie. Like whenever I hear like Bring Me to Life or My Immortal around the radio or something, I literally can't help but think of this movie. Now we're gearing up for pretty much the final battle, really. Well, one of the final battles, I should say. So we get a second, well, not really second because he's in the Daredevil suit now, but we get the second fight. Second fight scene between Affleck and Gardner. And actually, and I'll say this: I admire the stunt work in this movie is all wire work, which I actually think is really cool. This movie, I think, only uses CGI when it really needs to, which doesn't seem to be that often in this movie. Even when they use it, it's more like photorealistic CGI, which I think is really cool. Yeah, no, you won't, because I've already seen info on the next movie, and you don't even go looking for Matt. I'm sorry. Although Affleck does have a deleted scene in the movie, which actually is not in the movie, it's the name deleted scene, where it appears to her in like a vision or something. This scene here of where Bullseye throws the sword thing and Elektra catches it with her hand. Well, that was actually something added in the movie to explain how Elektra loses the fight so easily. Is that to say that she was weakened during the fight, which is why she loses so easily. Whereas in the comics, she's just beaten easily and loses. There was like no real reason for it. But what I like about this fight scene is that's choreographed pretty much the same, essentially the same way Miller drew it in the comics. And even contains some of the same dialogue, which I think is really cool. And you're probably asking, how would I know this if I've never read a comic book? Well, it's called based on all the research I've done over the years. Not to mention, I have a group of nerd friends who tell me this, who basically tell me this shit. Elektra's dead now, pretty much. If this was a theatrical cut, I'd be over by now. I'm already 143 in the movie. And now we basically catch up to the beginning of the movie, where the priest essentially finds Matt beaten up and everything. Matt's basically telling his preacher to get out of the building so he doesn't get hurt. I still don't get why people hate this movie. Sure, it may not be perfect, but it's still a fun movie. You know? I've heard someone complaining about the whole Bullseye Daredevil rivalry being rushed. It's like, to be honest, I don't even think they were intended to have a rivalry. Like, I really don't think they were intended to have one. It's just, so I don't get that complaint really. What the hell's my SWAT gang? Yeah, wow. You're gonna basically maul down a church. We can tell you're not religious or just don't care. It's like, and both of us like, shit, I'm not throwing stars. And now he's gonna throw shards of glass that he broke out a window. Man without fear. Looks like I found something to be afraid of. Let's bring out the pain. Let's bring out the noise. I swear, Colin Farrell's like really over the top in this movie, but I think he's having fun with it. Hmm. Cool. I never noticed that. That was just something I wanted to do in the movie. In all honesty, I feel bad for Mark Steven Johnson because this director's cut was the version he wanted to release, but the studio was like, nope, nope, nope. Gotta have a hour and 43-minute fast paced movie. Oh yeah, and by the way, you're not allowed to have it make any sense. So yeah, I feel really bad for Mark Steven Johnson. And now we have the final fight of the movie: Daredevil versus Kingpin. And now Wesley's busted. Let me talk about your plea bargain. Time for final fight. And this is basically a street fight now. Man, Daredevil is getting his ass handed to him. Of course, then again, he is weak from the Bullseye fight and the Elektra fight too. Business. Whatever it is, business. Working for Fallon at the time. Your father was supposed to throw a fight. And your girl was in the wrong family at the wrong time. It's all business. Josh remembers this whole movie is longer than the theatrical cut. I've been thinking about this day since I was 12 years old. Man, this cut makes so much more sense because Matt even is about to say that the word's out on the Kingpin, and it's like in the theatrical cut, it's like, how would the world be out on the Kingpin if word be out on the Kingpin if nobody knew about it? But this cut makes so much more sense because we have that subplot that leads Matt on trail discovering who the Kingpin is. This is for you, Dad. Now we got Matt and Foggy back at the cafe. Matt being sad about Elektra's death. And we have about 11 minutes left of the movie. This scene here is not in the theatrical cut. So we basically Ben Year's part in the theatrical cut was severely cut down. So in the scene coming up where he decides not to write the article about Daredevil, there's not really much of a reason why he decides not to do it. At least with this version, we understand because he and Matt sort of built a respect or appreciation for each other while working on this case. This scene with Bullseye in the hospital was actually in the theatrical cut was actually a post credit scene for some reason, or rather a mid credit scene, whichever. Now Matt has an idea of Elektra being alive thanks to that Braille necklace. Forever a guardian devil. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that was Daredevil, the director's cut. I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to my little commentary. I'm pretty sure it was not informative as as most commentaries are. Hopefully I can do another commentary sometime. Probably my next commentary I might do is probably Superman 2, the Donner Cut. I'm not sure yet because I've been wanting to do a commentary on that one since I started to do commentaries. So I might do a commentary on the Donner Cut next time. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Even though you can't see me. See you guys next time.